It's Nolan. Yeah, I'm in a place where niggas can't be too deep. I'm free safety, double entendre to entertain the ladies. Clean as a new Mercedes. I see you watching me. Eyes in the back of my head. Cinematography, logically, rappers can't compete. I say your flyers are no comply that they can't complete. They're so whack, it baffles me. 15, I was on some fan shit. Now I'm writing rhymes you can't decipher like it's Sanskrit. Hitting pressure points, my flow is tantric. Niggas got a lot of nerve. Revenge of the nerd, embarking on a private purge. I'm finna kill shit, presidential, y'all sentimental. My pen strike sharp as a blade, I'm playing tension. Beneficial to my residential. Clean up the block like Pac spotting some unofficial. This verse is overly intricate. Opposing my penmanship, bitch, I'm closing your membership. I was chosen from syndicates, young iconoclast. Did numbers in economics class. Went to school and start punching niggas in drama class. Want the gunplay? It's a Bible up on the dash. Catch him on the one way, leave his pockets up on the grass. Educated by buckshot at the bus stop. Black kids learn to rock a vest instead of sunblock. My lil homie punk rock define black excellence. Got a scholarship, one and done, it's like black presidents. I'm exceeding my measurements. Call me young Gohan. Niggas want the green with the bread, we making croutons. Started out rapping, I was small as Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Buckets, I'm working hard without the shoe line. Student loan niggas still calling my homies. I skipped college, I was following Kobe. Came through with a new Letterman, looking fresher than Axel Foley. My streets full of rage, I'm maxing, you whacking phony. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Now, we're going to have to get into some things in today's show. We're going to be talking about J. Cole. Unfortunately, it looks like J. Cole's fall off is happening right before our eyes in real time. So much to the point that I think it might be time for J. Cole to officially retire, right? I'm not saying he needs to retire because he cannot rap. I'm saying he needs to retire because it seems that the marketplace is no longer receptive to a world where J. Cole can get on a song and either pop his shit, be reflective of this Kendrick and Drake battle as it plays a large part in all of their lives, especially in 2024. He can't talk about it, he can't reflect on it, and he can't pop his shit as a superior rapper in 2024 without facing an immense amount of criticism, being that he did back out of the battle and apologize to one Kendrick Lamar. So I think it's time for J. Cole to gracefully bow out from hip hop. All right. Now, do I think he needs to retire today? No. I think he needs to follow through with his plan. I believe the fall off is supposed to have been his grand closing. So I'm going to just go ahead and say, Cole, whenever you're ready, bro, drop the fall off and let it happen. The fall off is here, right? I don't know if this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know if this is something that you literally conjured up in your own mind in your studio. If this is something that you and Dreamville came up with, like, yo, this is the perfect opportunity to expedite the fall off process right in front of people's eyes. I don't know if this is some sort of social experiment that you're running, or if this is just natural internet fodder turning into reality. But all of those different scenarios lead to the same destination. It may be time for J. Cole to hang it up. Despite how great he is as a rapper, despite how many cadences he has, how many flows, punchlines, or how many fellow rappers in the industry that he can get on their songs and out-rap them, outdo them, and steal their shine, it seems that all of those tricks, all of those displays for Cole today mean next to nothing. I ain't gonna say they mean nothing at all, because there's still people out there that are Cole fans that love Cole, and there's still people out there that appreciate the artistry that he puts into his craft. But it does not seem that the culture at large, the audience at large, is willing to accept that from him. Right? It's kind of like people want to strip him of his Achilles. You know what I'm saying? Because as an athlete, when your Achilles is in, fully functioning form, you can run your fastest, jump your highest. You know what I'm saying? When you get your Achilles taken away from you, you're a shell of who you used to be. And I'm not saying that he's injured, but it's like the people want to take that thing that makes him strong, that makes him great, away from him, which is, again, for the last few years, he's been boasting how good he is, and despite how good he is, it don't matter. All right. Now, some people may say that this is a bit much. Some people are gonna say, "Oh my God, you're positioning J. Cole as a victim." He literally is a victim right now. Now, whether or not people want to accept or see him as a victim, that's on you. That's up to your perception and perspective. I'm sure I'm gonna lose a few subscribers off of this video. It seems every time I talk about J. Cole lately and give him any sort of rope or leg to stand on, I lose subscribers in the interim, but then I gain them later. So for everyone that leaves, we'll replace you. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, but it seems to me that the overall tone for a lot of people is starting to match up with Maul from the Rory and Maul podcast. I got to be honest with y'all. I got to be 1,000% honest. I'm sitting back and watching this thing. I'm watching how everything is playing out. And it seems that everybody is pretty much dead set on misunderstanding Cole, regardless of what he says. Right now, I will acknowledge him jumping into the beef, the battle, whatever you want to call it, because I see those two words being interchangeably used. Him jumping in with 7-minute drill was a mistake. However, Kendrick did say fuck the big three, which is something that Jermaine Cole literally said on First Person Shooter. I seen some people out here saying nobody wanted to see Cole go against Kendrick anyway. That is a goddamn lie. Because when he said fuck the big three, he wasn't saying fuck the nigga you standing by. He said fuck both you niggas. It's just Big Me. And people accordingly wanted to know what their response was going to be. Were they going to collab on a track and go back at Kendrick? Tag team on him? Was he going to drop a solo record? Was Drake going to come back? Who was going to drop first? Cole ended up throwing the first dart back. He immediately retracted it. A week later, it was off streaming platforms. He apologized at the Dreamville stage. We all saw this. We've talked about it at length. Everybody knows how that played out. My thing with that is it was a mistake. Yes. A mistake he literally apologized for within the same weekend that it came out. So what I'm trying to understand is, since when is it not okay for a grown man to acknowledge his mistake? Right? Even as he's been somewhat quiet, I'm not going to say silent because he's dropped a few features this year. As it pertains to the battle of Kendrick and Drake, J. Cole has remained a casualty. Whenever he comes out with a feature, we listen to it, we look at it and say, what is he talking about? Is he talking about being the best? Is he talking about how good of a rapper he is? If he is, we don't want to hear it. Okay. Now just picture, it's one thing to say, you don't have to rap about that on every song. If you're composing an album, you probably shouldn't be talking about how great of a rapper you are on track number 1 all the way to 15. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the type of artist that you are. However, to tell an artist, basically, if you're crafting an album from track 1 to track 15, you no longer have the right to say how good of a rapper you are. Just imagine the thought process that's going to send that artist into when it goes into creating a rap album. You know what I'm saying? You tell me how many rap albums you've heard where the rapper has not claimed to be the best or some variation of that throughout the entirety of the record. Y'all can tell me. There's some out there. You know what I'm saying? You might find some very obscure albums, some really underground, some avant-garde jazz rap combination type shit out there. Like there's stuff out there where you may not get so much of that boastful energy. But I would love for people to just present to me how many you've heard and enjoyed and cared about. Right? So this is the crux for J. Cole. I'm not caping for J. Cole. I'm definitely, out of the big three, I am a Kendrick Lamar fan more so than the others. This has been my stance for years, privately, publicly, professionally. It has not changed. But what I have noticed is that with this new legion of Kendrick Lamar fans, there is a hive. There's a hive loose. And I don't think people really want to acknowledge it. They feel like anytime that comes up, it's a disparaging term because when you look at other hives in hip hop or other hives in our culture, we know what that comes with, but it's looking the same. As much as I love Kendrick Lamar as an artist, as much as I've followed his career from early stage, and I always will say the same people out here making noise for Kendrick today were not the ones making noise for Big Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers 2 years ago. I'm going to stand on that hill. I'm willing to die on that hill. But it's cool. And I think one of the problems is that Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, for a very long time, they didn't have all of the same fans, but I think they shared a cross-pollination of a fan base. And once things got a little bit murky between the two, with that 7-minute drill, Big Three, fuck Big Three, is just me and all of that stuff, the fan bases then had to come to a realization that we really got to choose sides in this. Like the niggas, we waited a decade for that collab album. There's people that shit up until fucking March, April of this year, we're still waiting on that collab album. There's people out there that's still designing fucking his face in one face album covers and shit, right? But then once that came to a head, it's like, oh, whose side you on? Where you gonna go? Who house you spending the night at today? Because whoever house you spend the night at, you can't go to the other one. And I feel like that's what happened. Say what you want. Just saying. So that's the position that J. Cole is in, right? So as I told y'all, I feel like the audience is now siding with Maul. Let's hear, and some people, I know y'all get tired of hearing Maul. Y'all don't like, why are y'all using Maul as an example? Because Maul is a voice as a podcaster. Maul is associated with Drake. He's OVO Maul. And his opinion has weight to it. It goes viral, right? So let's hear what he has to say, because he's not trying to hear nothing J. Cole has going on. And I want y'all to see just how similar his narrative is to the narrative that I received in my comments yesterday after I talked about J. Cole's new record, Port Antonio. So I'm not coming to y'all with no fucking conjecture. I'm not coming to y'all with things that I'm making up. I'm going to let y'all hear what Maul has to say, and I'm going to let y'all hear some of the comments in my section from yesterday. You can go read them yourself if you want to. Okay? Some of y'all, I fuck with y'all the long way, the strong way. I love all y'all. You know what I'm saying? So this is not a shot. This is not me shooting at the audience. This is just literally me sitting back and observing and coming and reporting on what I've observed. All right? So let's get to it.
Now don't give me this long voice note because you know Drake ain't fucking with you. Now you want to give us the voice note that you could have sent to Drake yourself. We didn't have to get this.
I would love to hear this music. I want to hear all this shit.
I don't want to. That's personal shit. Call Drake and text him.
The whole beef was personal shit. What are we talking about?
Tell Drake, text him, send him a voice note, because you ain't spoke to him since you spoke to Kendrick.
The whole point of the battle was all personal shit. What are we talking about?
Listen to what I'm saying. We're not talking about a battle. These are words that we know he wants to tell Drake, but he knows Drake ain't picking up the phone for him. So therefore, let me get this out. So he can't rap it? He can. I don't want to hear it. I don't care to hear this shit.
I don't care what you or Drake thinks about it when I want to hear Jermaine Cole rap about what happened the last 3 months.
We're not talking about. We're talking about the scope of if you and your friend are rappers and then another rapper jumps in on some song that you and him got that's number one, shits on your bar, you look like you want to fight, but then you're like, nah, I don't want to fight. You go home. Mm-hmm. Months later, you can't, and you still, and here's the thing, you still rapping. So why not just engage in the fucking battle? You ain't stopped rapping since.
And I'm saying, you're saying a separate point. What I'm explaining to you is the answer to your question. He explained why he didn't want to do the fucking battle.
But you did. You put, if Cole never put out a record, never put out a bar, I wouldn't even be talking about this shit. I'm like, yo, listen, he ain't want to get into it, cool. But you put a record out.
Well, if he didn't address any of this, you'd kill him for not addressing it.
How? I don't even speak on Cole unless he puts a verse on. I'm like, nah, that was dope. He can still rap, but all that best rapper out, you never wear that title again. I don't give a fuck. You could put out the most flawless verse we've ever heard, and you're never getting the best rapper title from me.
What does that have to do with this?
Because when it was time to show that you was the best rapper, you told us you couldn't sleep, and you went home.
Okay.
So I don't want to hear none of I don't believe none of these bars. Don't tell me we wanted blood. We didn't want blood. We wanted to see the people that we thought was the best engage in a rap battle. We didn't want y'all to fight and people to get shot. And nobody asked for that. What is this? They want blood. No, we don't.
Go ahead, Damaris, then I'll address this blood part.
I have so many points. The first one, the saying of, I just took you on tour and put millions in your pocket and gave you your first number one. Y'all talking like Cole was like some opening like act from like Mississippi.
No, nobody's talking like that, man. And now I'm about to start yelling because that's not what we're talking about.
You sitting up here saying he took him on tour.
He took him on tour. He put millions of dollars in his pocket. It's a fact.
And you don't think that was reciprocal at all. You think that he just took like some random niggas, like some random nigga that had no value. You think that Drake took somebody on tour that doesn't put any value because you
nobody said that.
But
if
that's
Drake
how you're
takes you on tour.
Okay, well
we don't have to talk about that fact. If Drake takes you on tour, you have value. We know that.
I think Cole wanted to do that for some fly shit. I don't think Cole needed the money. They did B markets. They did like Orlando and shit. No offense to Orlando, but they didn't even do major markets. That was two friends having fun.
Y'all are crazy, dog. Who said he needed money? Who said that?
Okay, well, you talking like he did.
Yeah, you act like that's a stat in this whole thing.
He took you on tour and put millions in your pocket. You talking like he needed the money. That's what you saying. He took him on tour and put millions in your pocket. If I don't need the millions and you put millions in my pocket, like, why does that matter? If I have millions and you put a couple extra, like, what are you talking about?
If I got millions and you give me a couple extra.
But I'm saying,
what are you talking about?
But you acting like he didn't earn that money. Like, that's a handout. You talking like it's a handout. That's not a handout.
That was two A-list rappers trying to have a moment, which is great.
I'm speaking to the facts. He went on tour. He made millions of dollars with somebody. Mm-hmm. And another rapper shitted on your only number one song, the bar that you put in that song, and then you swing, didn't hit as hard as you thought you would, but you swung, and then you decide, I don't want to fight. What is that energy? What is that?
So Mo, you're saying blood. You really think he was actually talking about people harming each other? No. What he was talking about was blood. Is someone is now called a.
You did that. If you never did that, we don't have, it's like, yo, fuck it. He didn't want to engage. It's cool. But you can't engage and then say, nah,
You've never done something and had to change your heart afterwards?
Oh, I've punched niggas in the face, jumped beat niggas up, all that. Got home and was like, we was wrong for that. But I ain't stop in the middle of the fight and be like, yo, nah, y'all. And homie swung on me first?
That's actually usually the guy that gets hit.
And the dude swung on me first? Kendrick swung first. Let's be clear. Kendrick punched J. Cole in the mouth. Of course, not literally, but he responded to that bar. He shitted on Cole's bar. All Cole was supposed to do was fight back. And he did, and then decided, I don't want to fight you. All right, man, cool. You don't want to fight, cool. But you can't hang out at the cool table no more. You can't run. Me and you can't be friends, and we just made all this money together, and we lit, and then a nigga stepped to you and punch you in your face, and I get in the fight for you, pretty much, is what Drake did, because he shitted on your bar. But fuck it, it's on my song on my album. I'm getting in it. He had some shit to say about me. All right, cool. But I can't start fighting.
This nigga said Drake jumped in the fight to defend J. Cole. Come on, dog. We know Drake and Kendrick been throwing shots for 10 years. I don't even know how you go 10 years throwing shots at a nigga, right? There's no way I could even find myself doing YouTube videos about the same people for 10 years unless it's like really of high significance. But if you're going in the studio, crafting bars and throwing shots and like watching what somebody's doing, sworn enemy type shit for 10 years, how are you going to say that Drake jumped in anything when he's been an active participant for 10 years? But this is where we at.
This nigga, and then you run and go home.
We really pretending that this beef was about...
Drake grabbed his ball and ran home and ran to LeBron's barber chair.
Cut it out. Because you just talking about he didn't put out another song or he didn't want to put out any more.
He got punched in the mouth.
He put out
and
music.
Then said, bro, you're taking it too far.
He put out music and he continued to put out music.
Yeah, Drake
this
literally
nigga put out a song and 3 days later that shit was off DSPs.
Yo. Maul.
I don't want to hear it.
Maul. By the way, what I'm about to say, I have no issue with Drake doing it.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It don't matter what you about to say because you're wrong.
No,
I don't care about
He said I don't want to be.
Dog, I ain't never talked to my homies like that in my life. I ain't never told my homie, I don't give a fuck what you about to say because you wrong. Now, if it was like something of like real moral fiber fabric type shit, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you violated in the worst of ways in some real life shit, and I gotta really chastise you about it. Yeah, maybe. But dog, that's how you talk to your people? Wow.
And then the whole A side of Scorpion is still talking about it.
What are you talking about? The A side of Scorpion. What are you talking about?
Is the push
The entire Scorpion
A side is about Pusha T and Kanye West. What are we talking about? He said, yo, I don't want to do this anymore. You guys took it way too far. Like, I'm done with this. And then dedicated the whole side of the album to discussing what happened.
That's not what happened, though. That's not what happened. We talking about two different things here. That situation clearly went a whole nother way. And other people got involved that was like, this shit, somebody got hurt in Toronto on stage. Somebody got stabbed. That shit went a whole different way.
First of all, that happened after.
Happened after what?
After
the
this.
take back. After the take back.
What I'm saying is that situation was really
It had not gone too far except for quote unquote exposing Drake's kid. That was as far as it went.
Bro, listen to what I'm saying. That situation was way more personal and way more behind the scenes shit than this situation. Kendrick and Cole
is saying, you're calling someone a pedophile. I don't want to be a part of this.
Dog, are you listening,
It's
man?
personal.
Why are you talking about what he's saying to Drake? I'm talking about Kendrick and Cole. You talking about Drake. You keep bringing Drake name up. I'm saying Kendrick and Cole didn't have no real beef with each other. It wasn't no street shit with each other. Kendrick just shitting on his bar. And as an MC, you're supposed to stand on your bar and defend your bars.
And I'm saying.
Now, this is where I'm going to jump in. Because to me, this is where the problem lies. And when I say the problem, I'm talking about the problem that J. Cole was having internally. Maul just said it. There was no real beef, no real problem between Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, right? So if there's no division between these guys, there's no hidden animosity, there was no argument, nobody got slimed out of some money, nobody, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you could think of that would cause an issue between men, grown men near 40, then why would they find themselves in a battle for sport in front of millions of people where you probably gonna say some shit that you're gonna possibly regret or could possibly regret, right? That's one side of it. Then once you actually get in the booth and you start saying shit, you start talking about people's discography, you start, you know what I'm saying, one nigga shoot at you, he shoot back, you're gonna start digging deeper. You're gonna be like, all right, I already said that your last shit was whack, it was a brick, it was this. How do I respond back to this person? Let me start digging into flaws of his personality, his character. Let me start digging into, you know what I'm saying? You can only go about a round with surface level bars. By the time you get to round 2, you're going to try to find some inconsistencies in what this person talks about, how they present themselves. And it's going to go from there. Even if you want to take the context of battle rap, you know, niggas in battle rap say some flagrant shit. Sometimes they most of the time they walk off the stage, they shake hands, bump fists or whatever. But there's real life beef in battle rap too. Niggas have been beat the fuck up on stage in battle rap. Niggas have been beat the fuck up backstage in battle rap. Niggas have been stabbed. Some niggas have gotten shots fired at them outside the arena in battle rap. I don't know how closely y'all actually follow that culture, but since we're trying to liken those two communities together, as in traditional hip hop and battle rap, sometimes we got to look a little bit further for real context to see what happens on the other end of some of this stuff. So they going back and forth, and this is all hypothetical because we didn't get to see it play out. But they start digging into each other's past, their flaws, their mistakes that they've made in life, whatever the case may be. Start bringing that to the surface on wax. They may be able to distinguish, it's just rap. But what about the people that love and care about them? We've seen people that love and care about these artists perpetuating the issue more than the actual artists, right? Hit a J3 on Kendrick's side. Grew up with Kendrick. We see him talking about Drake nearly every day on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? When the Top 5 kid came out perpetuating shit on Drake's behalf, Hit a J3 said, come to Cali, we're going to lay your ass out. Right? Yeah, it's threats until somebody really show up and niggas get laid the fuck out. There's some people out there that want to see that happen, by the way. So who's to say that niggas on J. Cole's side, Dreamville, or just people that he grew up with, because J. Cole has a community of people that fuck with him outside of just his label, that say, nah, we're not finna tolerate nobody coming at my boy like that. Whatever y'all got going on, it was cool when you said this, and this, but now you done crossed the line. You come to motherfucking Fayetteville, North Carolina, you go to South Carolina, you go anywhere near Carolina, shit can start getting a little bit sticky. We gonna pop out. And likewise, you know what I'm saying? Niggas going to Cali, niggas going to, you know what I mean? So do I think that in all of this machismo, men, ego, competition, all of this type of stuff, you even see it in basketball. Niggas like to compare rap to basketball. There's fights in basketball. The fights are not as severe as they used to be because the fines are different. And niggas that suspend your ass for damn near a season for throwing a real life punch on the court. But we've seen niggas get their asses snuffed in the heat of a basketball game or get thrown one of them Angbach elbows and shit. You know what I'm saying? And niggas we wanting to, you know what I mean? Niggas have gotten ejected in valuable playoff games because the emotions got the best of them. We got to start looking at this stuff in human context and not on some, MTV beat generator. I'm going to control these niggas like cartoon characters. And I think a lot of people are watching it from that perspective because we don't have anything to do with it. We don't have to deal with any of the implications of what's going on. And I'm only talking about this stuff because apparently J. Cole saw, whether he received a warning or his intuitiveness kicked in, whatever it was, he knew, I'm going to get out of this before it go left. And left it certainly went. So if J. Cole is wrong, if J. Cole is all of a sudden the beta male of hip hop and can't pound his chest as a lyrical genius, right? Can't even make mention of something he played a role in just earlier this year, then you're basically telling him, we don't want to hear you rap no more. And some people out there have literally said, we don't want to hear you rap no more. So again, I think it's time for J. Cole to step away. I'm going to go ahead and get off of Rory and Mal. Okay? So let's go to the comments. So some of Mal's talking points were, you could come up with the best rap technical ever. I will still never call you the best rapper because of what you did. Right? That's one talking point that's going to be echoed. Another talking point is when you were in this you put out 7-minute drill, it didn't hit, and now you want to act like you're some moral high ground. I don't think that J. Cole is trying to be the moral high ground between Kendrick and Drake. I think J. Cole is letting people know what his conscience is telling him as it pertains to something he was involved in and decided not to be involved. I don't understand where that's an issue, but today it is. Right? Now, some of the other stuff Mal said, you could tell that he's still a hanger-on of Drake. So I won't even talk about the whole tour and the first number one, I handed it to you and all that. That's a different conversation. But I just want y'all to hear some of the talking points from Mal because the comments I received about this J. Cole record kind of mirror that, right? So this one is someone that's kind of in the middle. They say, and I'm not going to say any names out of respect for y'all. They say, I can understand the appreciation for the artistry, flows, delivery, the bars. I can also understand the subtle cowardice and unaccountability some can derive from the narrative that Cole is trying to spin throughout the second part of the song. So now we're seeing words like unaccountability and coward is coming into the conversation where, some people feel like when he said, I wouldn't have lost a battle, I would have lost a bro. People are honing in on the I wouldn't have lost a battle part of it rather than the I would have lost a bro, right? It's a compound statement, but people are choosing to listen to one or the other rather than both, right? And it's like basically people feel like he's saying, oh, I wouldn't have lost, but I would have lost my homie. So, I chose to walk away. I don't think it's that. I think it was more so like a play on words. Because he was going to lose that battle, to be fair. But he was definitely going to lose a bro. In my eyes, I think if J. Cole stays in that battle, Kendrick Lamar does come out a little bit more technically sound in his approach, right? Rather than just being surgical with his words and getting straight to the point. Because he was very straight to the point and concise in his battle with Drake. If J. Cole stays in it, I think Kendrick has to go in his bag lyrically and like technically as an MC with the patterns and the way that he approaches his bars a little bit differently. You would have gotten a little bit more 616 in LA vibes throughout the thing, right? But all that set aside, I would have lost the bro. Meaning I value my relationship with this person more than I value the battle. But for whatever reason, people don't feel like that sentiment is ringing true. They say he's sneak dissing. What is that? Unaccountability, right? Because he jumped in the battle, threw a shot, decided that he didn't want to be a part of it, walked away. And then he explains to you why he walked away. How is that a lack of accountability? What's he supposed to do? Come out and say, these niggas is better than me, I suck? Is that the accountability people are looking for? I don't know. Keep going. This person says, I'm not surprised that Cole fans are incorrectly assessing another Cole track that is battle related. Number one, I'm not the biggest Cole fan. I'm a bigger Kendrick Lamar fan, but this is what they're saying. They did it with 7MD, 7 Minute Drill, and they're doing it again with PA, Port Antonio, where they see the track as extremely dope with minor or no flaws. Inside of the Cole bubble, that may be the case, but outside of it, people can see the glaring flaws with it, and it's not even about the delivery and lyrics, it's the content that is problematic. The content is problematic. Problematic? In hip-hop, we've seen problematic. We've seen J. Cole be somewhat problematic in hip-hop as it pertained to her name is missing me. No Name. as her name slips. Her No Name. We saw problematic from J. Cole. I don't see that being the same thing as this, but cool. He says, the track is dope, but I'm sorry, it does not show maturity like the Cole fans are trying to spin it. Where did he say anything about maturity? It's not maturity. It's about his conscience talking to him and saying, which way do you want it to go? Do you want to maintain a relationship or do you want to crash out for ego and fan's sake? J. Cole said, I'd rather maintain a relationship and not have to go home at night, you know what I mean, with this weighing on me. Because he knew where it was about to go. Niggas started talking about pedophiles and PDFs, excuse me. DV, your kid ain't yours. Your child is your homeboy's child. Now, if Cole gets caught up in the mix of that, where does he go to try to find the narrative on either party? Because if Cole stays in it, who's to say him and Drake remain on the same side? And then what does he say about Kendrick in trying to find an angle? And what do they say about him and his secret, you know what I'm saying, his private wedding and his children that he keeps out of the limelight, right? Drake's alleged illegitimate daughter. Which way do we go with that if he stays in it? Right? I'm not saying Cole is flawless or didn't make a mistake. I acknowledge his mistake from the jump. But since when are mistakes of this nature in hip hop not to be forgiven, but we forgive niggas that literally beat on women. We forgive niggas that literally have done heinous things. You know what I'm saying? In hip hop, in the name of hip hop, no less. And I say we as a collective, not as you as an individual, who to the viewers. So they say either Cole has an intellectual blind spot or an emotional blind spot when it comes to assessing Drake's character. So now they want J. Cole to shit on Drake because the public shits on Drake. But who's to say that the person we see Drake to be is the person that J. Cole receives when he's around Drake? I know everybody hates Drake, and that's also in season right now. But who's to say that same person, or that's the way he presents with him outside of the limelight, right? He says it's like Cole is trying to be neutral to a fault, even after we've seen Drake's track record of attacking ops through their women, lying on Whitney and Dave Free during the battle, throwing Cole under the bus during the battle, and with the 100 gig drop, Cole still wants to be friends with him. Really, Cole? But who's to say Cole didn't see validity to claims on both sides? He's closer to all these people than we are. I'll go through just a couple more. Because I don't want to stay on this too long. So they say here, I think the people have a bit of a sore spot for this because it comes off as Cole doing a lot of backhanded talking and revisionist history when it comes to the beef situation, especially after the apology, removing 7-minute drill and bowing out of the whole situation. Yeah, people are going to look at that funny. But again, in the song, he acknowledges that it was a mistake. And it seems that he essentially believes that the battle and the proverbial blood, we're not talking about real life bloodshed, but the blood that it created, because this isn't just like, I don't give a fuck how much people want to say that this is just about the culture or this is just about lyrical sport. It's not about that. It's about you either rock with A or B. And if you rock with A or B, it's going to determine how I look at you as an individual, as a fan, as a content creator, as a spectator. You know what I'm saying? All of those different things, you're judged by which side of the fence you stand on. So it's not just about no lyrical supremacy, right? Because if you rock with Drake in any capacity, they're going to say, well, you rock with PDFs, you rock with this, you rock with that. Then on Drake's side, or Drake's fans, it's like if you rock with Kendrick, you rock with all of the bots, the alleged bots, right? You rock with DV, you rock with this and that. And like, so that kid ain't even his. Idiots. Idiots. I'm not saying they're not idiots. But as somebody just outside, because what I've had to do in even covering this stuff is remove a lot of my personal bias. Because again, if I had to choose outright, I'm rocking with Kendrick. But when I look at everything in totality, I look at how people are acting, I look at how people are emotionally invested, I have to pull myself back and be like, no, how what the hell is what's really going on? People are like really on a different wavelength than what I've ever seen. And that's just me. So here we are. Another person says, I love the song, but he's acting like he's above the battle. But he spent a large part of his career throwing subs and talking like he was the best and would smoke anybody. Maybe he's grown from that mindset, but then you have to take accountability for that stance and how you ended up here in the first place. Again, we hear this word accountability. How do we not see or not know J. Cole taking accountability when he says he understands the mindset that they were in to even go through this in the first place? He says, I understand the thirst to be first. Right? To say he thinks he's above it, I don't think he's saying he thinks he's above it. He's saying, and I want to be clear, when it comes to the bot talk, Cole is not talking about the alleged bots that Drake is alleging against Kendrick, right? Where he says, "Oh, y'all paid bots to boost Not Like Us to the top of the charts." That's not what Cole is talking about. J. Cole is calling the bots the spectators on the internet. Do I believe everybody's a bot? Absolutely not. I said that in my video before. He's talking about Maul. He's talking about academics, people that are spinning a narrative that him and Drake are at odds because he chose a side, or however they want to craft a narrative about J. Cole because he's not speaking for himself. They're doing it. They're gaining money for it. Not to mention there's people out there that are on Twitter with verified accounts that are cashing in on rage baiting using J. Cole's name. He's talking about those people. But again, people are interpreting that as a sneak shot at Kendrick because Drake and his side alleged that Kendrick was using bots. So when you hear that word bots, it's triggering people to be like, oh, here goes that bot talk again. He's shooting at Kendrick. No, he's not shooting at Kendrick. He's not shooting at nobody because he says, I am neutral. I walked away with blood of both of my friends on me because I stood in the middle and this shit is fucked up. But because he did that, it now puts him in a position where people do not want to hear this nigga rap. And if that's what it is what it is. Which is why I say, drop the fall off and go. Run your label, support your artists, maybe even pop out and do features here and there for your artists. But I think at this point, you got to focus on Dreamville. You got to focus on preserving your company, helping your artists elevate to the next stage of their career, because as J. Cole stands today, he is somewhat a wounded warrior to hip hop. I think people are treating J. Cole like damaged goods. Despite how good he raps, they like, nah, you're not of service to the bottom line no more. You acted like you was a competitor. You acted like you was a warrior, and you got brought to the center to put that on display, and you bowed out. He's saying, I didn't bow out because I don't want to be a competitor. I didn't want to engage with the people, right? And people's response is, it shouldn't matter who it is. You supposed to go. You supposed to crash. He don't feel that way. And apparently, hip hop, as we know it, is going to stand by we don't care. And that's what it is. And to me, do I want to see J. Cole leave the game? No. But I think it's what's best to preserve his legacy before he runs it into the ground, before it becomes too much for him. He does something outlandish. You just never know where people are at. We see Big Sean has been looking very shaky all year. Big Sean went on live and cried. Big Sean, I don't know what the fuck was going on with that photo shoot that Big Sean was doing, that video shoot where he had them abs sketched into his shit. You know what I'm saying? He pushed his album back 4-5 times. You know, he's out here trying to tell us what success means while people are not listening to his music. Like he's doing like all of these different things to cope and make it seem like he's happy, and I hope he is. But the way he's presented himself, it doesn't show a happy person. And it's mainly because he got embroiled into something with Kendrick Lamar. Big Sean was a very loved artist. Not to the level of a Drake, J. Cole, or a Kendrick Lamar, but he was like a solid 4th or 5th option. Ever since Hold On Bitch, Sit Down, Little Bitch came out, and then the real stories behind that stuff ended up coming out, it was like Big Sean was damaged goods, and he hasn't recovered since. Now we're seeing J. Cole falling into the same kind of category. So, again, if y'all don't want to acknowledge that there's a hive, I'll take the shot. But I think people are being a little bit too hard on Cole, especially if hip hop is really supposed to be a place for you to come in and display your talent, display your skill, tell your story, get your message out. Hip hop intelligent movement, right? Are we going to get to the origin of that? I think he's excelling in those areas, but because he doesn't want to battle with his homies, his life's work is being discredited. And I would just say, if you were in that position, of course you wouldn't be if you're not a rapper, but if you were in that position in J. Cole's seat, I don't think you would be very comfortable sitting there either. All right. Let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. I know I'm finna get fucking murked, but this wouldn't be the first time. So I'm gonna catch y'all later. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no gunner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.